You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 179. This is Pay It Forward, Aloha Friday. Money is an echo of value, but does that mean if you don't have money, you're not valuable?
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Aloha, Men of Abundance. I am Wally Carmichael, your founder and host of the Men of Abundance podcast, the Pay It Forward community. And today we're going to talk a little bit about value and how it relates to money. Now, I know this is going to pull the strings of some of you. Some of you are going to get this. Some of you are not. But just like anything else, I ask you to at least ponder this conversation and get in on the conversation. If you truly feel strongly about this, I hope you do. Get in on the conversation in our Men of Abundance community. To get access to that community, number one, you have to be a man. And two, simply go to menofabundance.com, click on the Members Only tab at the top of the page, and you will be able to request access to the Men of Abundance community. Now, ladies, if you want to weigh in on this, just go to menofabundance.com/179 and leave your comment down below in the comments section of this podcast. So I really heard this concept. I heard this idea out of a book called The Go-Giver by Bob Burg. And he talked about this. He talked a little bit about this, and it's on one of his blogs that I was reading as well. And it talks about money is an echo of value. Now, that makes sense to me. But one can ask the question, so if I don't have money, does that mean that I don't have value? I'm not valuable, or that I'm not adding any value to anybody's life? And quite frankly, that's not what it means at all. And that's not what he's getting at. And he explains this a little bit more in one of his blogs as well, because somebody asked that question of him. And I've had this conversation, it was over a year ago, I had this exact same conversation. So here's the way it works. Money is an echo of value, but we're talking about value in the marketplace, because you are no doubt valuable to your family. You're valuable to your spouse. You're valuable to your kids, or you should be anyway. And you may even be valuable to your employer. But when we start talking about being valuable to your employer, you got to look at two different things. You got a personal relationship in some cases, and you got a professional relationship. Therefore, you have personal value and you have professional value. And it's that professional value, and only that professional value, that is going to echo and translate into your income. So while you may get along very well with your employer, you may even go out and golf together, or go out to dinner with the family, or go out and have a few beers after work, or whatever the case may be, that value generally will not translate into a pay raise. It generally will not translate and echo money. It's only the professional. What are you bringing to the company? What value are you adding to the company? What value are you adding to the company's clients and customer base? That's ultimately what we're talking about here. And the more value that you can add and you can bring to the marketplace, the more money you're going to earn. That's just the way it is. And you can say, well, Wally, I'm working my ass off. I'm working hard every single day. I'm doing this. I'm putting out all this information. I'm coming to work on time every day. I'm doing what I'm told to do, but I'm not getting the pay raise, and I'm not earning any more money from my clients. Well, we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about being an employee, and we're talking about having a business. So let's get into that. As far as being an employee, coming to work every day, doing what you're told to do, is not really, it's adding value, yes, but you're not increasing your value. You're not showing that you're worth more than what you were what you were originally hired for. And this goes back to something I was just listening to this week about when several employers are asked, what would be the perfect employee that you would like to hire? And across the board, many of them say The perfect employee to me is one who comes to work on time, does exactly what they're hired to do, and doesn't cause any drama in the workplace. But here's the problem with that. None of those employees ever get promoted. None of those employees ever get a pay raise because they're doing exactly what they were told to do. And while employers initially think they want that, that's not really who they want. They want somebody to come into the workplace, yes, be there on time, do what they're told to do. But as far as the drama part, I'm not talking about like daytime soap opera type drama. I'm talking about pushing back on some of the norms in the company for the betterment of the company. Kind of shaking things up a little bit. You want somebody to come in and shake things up a little bit so that things can be done a little bit differently. Look, a company's always got to evolve. And it takes the employees sometimes to make that happen, to make the owner of the business or the managers realize, look, I'm doing this day in and day out. Here's a better way for us to get this done so I can be more efficient in my job and create more widgets or talk to more customers or better serve the customer. These are the things. This is a software we should have in place and so on and so forth. Now, as far as your own personal business is concerned, the more value that you add and the way you do it in your own unique way is what attracts many customers to you and keeps customers coming back to you. But here's the thing, as you get more popular and as your services become more in demand, then it's time for you to raise your prices. And so many people have a hard time with doing this because they're afraid that they're going to lose that customer base. And in fact, what's really going to happen is you're going to improve your customer base. Look, it's been proven time and time again as a consumer, the consumers and the people that you serve that are willing to pay less and less and less, they are the most difficult customers to work with. In contrast, the ones that are willing to pay a little bit more for better service, they are some of your best customers. They will come back, they will be loyal, and they will do exactly, if there's something that they have to do on their end, they will do it. They will show up on time. They will always be there to make sure that they get the best value out of the money being spent because they trust in you. So when you take value to the marketplace, that will, the better value, the more value, the better value that you add to your customers and your clients, rather as an employee or as a small business owner, the more money you're going to have in your bank account. And again, you as a father, as a husband, as an uncle, as a human being, you have value in your community, no doubt about it. But if you can figure out how to turn that value around and use that same value and your personal values and put that value out into the workplace or out into the marketplace, then that value will translate into money. At that point in time, value really does echo money. All right, all of you amazing abundant leaders out there, I hope that's been somewhat valuable to you. Go out and get that book, The Go-Giver by Bob Burg. Really good book. There's a couple versions of it out there for various different industries and whatnot. Check out his blog. He's got a really good blog. I'll have that linked up in the show notes as well. I don't get anything out of that. I just think it's a good book. I read so many books, and then I'm reminded of these books years later after I've read them when I'm listening to a podcast or even reading another book, 'cause they all reference each other so often. But go out and get that book and be abundant in your life today by paying it forward and sharing Men of Abundance with everyone you come in contact with, or like I always say, at least the ones that you like. Now go out and live your life of abundance and make sure